Well, now what I would like to talk about is how do you represent the vowels in English script? That is, how do you transliterate the Hebrew vowels into English? And this particular chart on page 38 does show how that's done. Here you have all the vowels attached to bet. And if it's patakh, that'll just be a regular A. If you have a syllable, well then that would be, the vowel would be a E, just a regular looking E. If you have a hirik, that would be a regular I, pronounced E. And so with the bet, it would be pronounced B. With the kamatz hatuf, it would be a short O, which would be bo. And then with the three dots, the kibbutz, it would be a boo, and on down the list. Now, when you are representing these things, shall we say scientifically, there is a precise system of how to write the vowels. Whereas if you are presenting them non-scientifically, there's easier ways of doing it. Maybe I'll start with the easier way. In non-scientific writing, and here I'm simply using the Society of Biblical Literature style sheet to show you how it works. The patakh would simply be an A. The kamatz would also simply be an A. A kamatz with a hey would be just an AH, ah. Sigol would be an E. Tsere would be an E. Sere yod, again, would just be an E. And then short hirik and long hirik and hirik yod. Well, short hirik and long hirik would simply be an I, so would hirik yod. Kamatz hatuf would be simply an O vowel. Holim would be an O vowel. And then kibbutz and shurik are both U vowels. And kamatz, well, there's other vowels that we'll have to tell you about later on, the half vowels. However, in the more scientific way of describing them that would distinguish different vowels from each other, you would do it somewhat differently. So a patakh would be a simple A, but a kamatz would be an A with a line over it. And if you have a kamatz hey, that'd be an A with a little hat on top of it. Likewise, if you have a short E sigol, well, that's just a regular E. But if it's a sere, it would be an E with a line over it, indicating it's a long E. And if you combine with a vowel letter, sere yod, then it would be a B with an E with a hat on it. And then the hirik would be a simple I. But if you have a hirik yod, it would be an I with a hat on it. The kamatz hatuf would be a simple O, but the holim would be a O with a line over it, indicating it's a long O. And if you also have the vowel letter vav with it, a holim vav, that would be an O with a hat. And kibbutz, three little dots, would be a U. But if you have a shurik with the vowel letter, it would be a B, it would be a U with a hat on it. And so that's the more scientific way of distinguishing between each of the vowels in a given Hebrew word. So that's the scientific way of representing vowels. Now let me move on to section 2.7, syllables. It's important to distinguish between open syllables and closed syllables in Hebrew. An open syllable consists of a consonant followed by a vowel. So here the word me, which means who, question mark, introduces a question normally. Me is a open syllable because you have a consonant and then you have a vowel. But then the word shet, which is Seth, is a consonant vowel consonant, shet. And so that would be a closed syllable. And in a given word, you might have a combination of open syllables and closed syllables. So if you take the word for Adam or Adam, well, you begin with an aleph, which is just a placeholder for the vowel, with a kamatz under it. That's a regular kamatz, as it turns out. And so that would be ah. And it's a consonant, which is the aleph, which is kind of a glottal stop that just hangs the vowel. So you have the consonant and a vowel, that's an open syllable. But then the next syllable, dam, is a dalet kamatz mem, and that would be a closed syllable. So you have two syllables. The first is open, the second is closed, and that's how you will divide up syllables. Now there is a rule that might be worth your remembering. The vowel in an open, unaccented syllable is long. The vowel in a closed, unaccented syllable is short. The vowel in an open, accented syllable is generally long, though it may be short. And the vowel in a closed, accented syllable may be long or short. That probably came across as gobbledygook, but perhaps the example that he gives you of two very common words in Hebrew, davar and eretz. Davar is the word for word. Eretz is the word for earth or land. And notice that there's an accent that's receded in eretz. And so this is the way it works. When you have a accented closed syllable, the vowel is usually long, bar. But when you have a unaccented open syllable, the vowel is usually long, da. But then it reverses here. The kamatz, remember, is a long a. But then with eretz, you begin with a accented open syllable, a, eretz, and because it's open syllable and accented, it will be a short vowel, and therefore you get a segol, which is a short e. But then rates is a unaccented closed syllable, and that'll take a short vowel, and so you get rates. So if you remember davar and eretz, well, then you can reconstruct the rule as long as you remember that the kamatz in davar is long and segol in eretz is short. Accented, closed, long. Unaccented, open, long. Accented, open, short. Unaccented, closed, short. And that's the rule by example. And there he gives you a chart, but probably learning those two words will get you farther than trying to learn the rule otherwise. By the way, a lot of what I'm presenting, you may feel a little overwhelmed by all the details that you get thrown at you, especially at the beginning. It's normal to feel overwhelmed in Hebrew. Just keep persevering, keep doing the homework, and eventually things become clear. Let me move on to the furtive patakh. There is a special kind of patakh that is influenced by gutturals, particularly the gutturals hey, chet, and ayin, where when you have a usually a o vowel or u vowel in front of that consonant, it turns out that the hey and the chet and the ayin really prefer a vowels. And so if you have the word for Noah, which is Noah, originally what they tried to do was just put an O vowel there. Here you have the holum, which is a long O. So it should have been no, no. But these letters didn't like that O sound. They preferred A sounds. And I should tell you that in my imagination, my Hebrew letters sometimes talk to me. And so here you have a het, and you put an O vowel in front of it. Noah, Noah. And that het says, I don't like O vowels. I like A vowels. But you say, no, I want an O vowel here. I want it to be no. But the het says, no, I like A vowels. Give me an A vowel. And so what you end up doing is you give it an O vowel, but then it steals an A vowel. So normally you can't have two vowels in a row in Hebrew, but with the furtive patakh, that's an exception to that rule. And so even though the original vowel is an O, the het steals a little A, so it ends up being not no, but Noah, Noah. So the furtive patakh is kind of secretive and sneaky, furtive in stealing a vowel when it's not supposed to have one. A few words about the vocabulary. We're going to start learning words now, and you should learn them by heart. Ideally, you should learn them from Hebrew to English, but then also be able to go back from English to Hebrew. In addition, it would be good if you could know all the different English glosses that Ross gives you. So here you have the word Adam. Adam means man or humankind, but it's also a personal name, Adam. And so if you can learn man, humankind, Adam, that would be ideal. Because in certain contexts, Adam doesn't work. In certain contexts, man doesn't work. And humankind or mankind would be a useful alternative, as in when God made Adam in his own image, in the image of God he created him, male and female he created them. Well, Adam doesn't mean man as a male, since it's male and female. So anyway, that's Adam. The next word is eretz, which is earth or land. So it can refer to the whole earth. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the eretz in Genesis 1:1. That refers to the whole globe. Whereas sometimes it can refer to a region like Eretz Yisrael, which means land of Israel. And so it's either earth as a whole globe or some region, as in the land of Egypt or the land of Israel or the like. Then you have the word bayit, which normally means house. Occasionally it can mean tent. Sometimes house of the Lord is used with the tent of meeting. And there's a modified spelling when it's in what's called construct. So if you want to talk about the house of God, that would be Beit El. So instead of Bayit, it'll be pronounced Beit. We'll explain how that works later on. And then you have Davar. Again, it'd be good to learn all the meanings. Davar means word, matter, or thing, depending on the context. And so that's Davar. Shalom, we probably heard of the word shalom. It means peace, but it can also mean welfare or prosperity. And so if you seek the shalom of a nation, you're seeking the welfare or the prosperity of a nation. So it's more than just absence from war. It can mean peace or welfare or prosperity, well-being in general. It would be a broader way of putting it. Well, in the next lecture, I'll say a little bit more about the exercises, and we'll call it a day.